So we're here with Dario Napoli in Italy, and I would like to make a few lessons, record a few lessons with him, because this is our chance, so we should do it. And I'd like to ask you, Dario, if you could make like a little series of lessons, what would be the most basic thing you think that you should start with to pay attention to?
Sure. The one thing I notice most when you play jams or things like this is that not most or not everyone, but some people have trouble with time, and some don't even realize they have trouble with time. So when you're playing, sometimes it can be a bit uncomfortable. I think it's important to not be one of those people that doesn't really deal well with the tempo. You know, many people speed up, some people slow down, and it's not fun when that happens. So I think it's important to, some people obviously have a better sense than others, but with the metronome, I think it's really easy in time to realize how much I can deal with the tempo. And for what we play, I guess.
So you suggest that you should actually always use a metronome. I have to sit somewhere else because I think I see only a silhouette.
I wouldn't say always, because there's like if I'm working on something technical or something that is technique, maybe first I wanna learn it, and then maybe when I have it, then to master it, I can use the metronome. Maybe not always, but I think it should definitely be sometimes or often, for sure, depending on how well
you practice.
Yeah. So if you're looking at a swing, for example, one thing that can help is to think of, if I put the metronome on, is to think of the metronome as a 2 and 4. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I play a rhythm, right? So 2, 3, 4. And you really want to get to a point where you are the metronome. Like many people, they'll kind of go do it, but you really want to get to a point where you're one thing with the metronome and you're really in it. You're really on top of that 2 and 4. And then of course there's times when in the song or in the music there's opportunities to maybe move up or move down, but as long as it's a few points, then it's within. But
you mean move up and move down in speed? In speed,
yeah. I mean, naturally, some songs will, you play Dark Eyes, it will tend to
go faster
a little bit. But one thing is a few points. One thing is 10 metronome points. The soloist now is like feels like he's playing a different song. So this is one thing that I really recommend. Just really focusing in on it and really feeling like you're right on this 2 and 4. It gives you the groove,
But as long as you have the metronome in front of you, or so as the way I do it with earphones in your ear, so you can hear the metronome over your own guitar, then okay, you can handle that. But how do you internalize that sense of being steady in the timing?
I think that slowly, by doing it, you sort of hear the metronome somehow in your mind, even when it's not there. You really, and like I say, some people have it more than others naturally, or maybe as kids they did more musical things, and some less. But I firmly believe it's something anyone can learn and improve. Just hearing the metronome will give you a sense of space of time, and
I also have a question about this, because sometimes when you play with a lead player, I only play rhythm, so I always play with somebody who plays solo, and some solo players will speed up while they're playing, and I'm pretty sure they don't notice, of course, they get carried away. And other times maybe they're slowing down a little bit, but mostly they're speeding up. And then there's the bass player of course.
Yeah.
And I don't know who to follow. I'm inclined to follow the lead player and just cling to that. But then the bass player should also do that. I'm a little bit confused as what to do in a situation like that.
Yeah, I think it's hard to say. I don't think there's rules, but I think that generally, if 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 you realize the lead player is experienced and very good, I think it's good to sort of within the limits of the logic of the song, follow him,
Yeah.
sort of, you know. But on an average basis, I think it's important to rein them in and kind of
Yeah.
stay. And if you have a good sense of the time and you feel when somebody's rushing, you can sort of monitor them and, you know, staying on your own.
It's
Because
not easy
it's
because
not easy at all.
I play with really wonderful musicians often. I'm very lucky in that sense, and even very very good musicians, and then their amp is louder than mine because they're the solo players, and they're very into the music,
Yeah.
and so they're just leading the band,
Yes.
and there they go. And I was told, I think by Kevin probably, I
Yeah.
don't remember by whom, like, you're the rhythm player, you should stay steady and then
Right.
they will follow you.
Yes.
But that's not the case. They're not following me. Maybe I'm not steady enough.
I think there's a fine line where, you know, I think there's naturally some songs and some situations will naturally move in a certain tempo or change a little bit, and I think that's a good thing in a way when it's within certain limits. But generally, yeah, I agree. If the rhythm player is strong enough, you want to kind of be that reference, and,
Yeah.
and they can rush and move a bit away, but you know, a good solo player will also be always listening to
Yeah.
what the others are doing, and you
But
know.
I'll just blame the solo player for now on.
Yeah, you can do
I
that.
think that's probably the right approach.
Bring the solos, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's still something very important. I don't think this is obviously studying, and you want to study that way. But then, yes, in a song, you don't want to be, I mean, so rigid that you're.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
some songs will move in a certain direction, time wise, and you want to some extent follow this, but within a few points, not like, you know,
Yeah.
so much that it
So,
changes.
overall, how would you summarize what you were just like teaching?
Yeah, I would say if you're not sure about how well you go on time, just be honest with yourself, put a metronome on and record yourself, and really see if you're straight on. Like, I mean, this is something I've worked on for many years, and I know if there's a metronome on, I am the metronome. I become the metronome, and I know I can really go on a time. Recording a lot helps.
But maybe if you're very sure of yourself, you should extra use a metronome to practice sometimes, because
Yeah.
you might be wrong.
You're right, and it's always good to monitor yourself and at different speeds, of course. And if you feel like you're not there, just, you know, a part of the practice should always go back to it. Not all the practice, but some things just do it. It'll help. Yeah.
Okay, so the timing is like the most crucial, basic thing
Yeah.
if you practice gypsy jazz.
Yes. Yeah. Or any music. But
Or
just
any
jazz in
music,
our
yeah,
case,
yeah, indeed. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.